everyone. Welcome to Voice of Finance, a series of conversations with CFOs and finance leadership on how finance area can add value in the digital era. Today we welcome Gerhard Luebke, our CFO in NTT Data EMEAL. Welcome to your house, Gerhard. Could you explain a bit to us how did you come to be the CFO of NTT Data?
Yes, thank you very much, Belén, for inviting me also, and glad to give you a little bit of my background. I'm in professional life now for 40 years. I have been working for Siemens over 30 years. Siemens is a large German conglomerate. I have been in finance functions at Siemens all of that time, roughly 20 years in CFO positions. Siemens is a publicly listed company with a lot of international business and a lot of project type of business. After the times at the Siemens, I moved to GfK. GfK is Germany's largest market researcher, and interestingly, and that was also good for me, also for my learnings, was that the business model is a completely different one than I got to know at Siemens. It is very similar to the business model to ours. It is a consulting type of business and has different challenges for the finance organization. I was with the GfK for 3 years, and I got a call to join ThyssenKrupp. ThyssenKrupp is maybe known as Germany's largest steel maker, but they also have a strong project business, and I was the CFO of this business. Again, a business which is very much project driven, a business which is very international, where we have to manage matrix organizations. I believe those were the criteria when I was called if I would be interested to join NTT Data, which I gladly did. Then finally I'm with the company now 1 year with the criteria to be fulfilled as a CFO within this corporation.
So impressive background. I think it gives you a privileged view on how finance function has been evolving throughout these years. Why do you think finance needs to evolve now?
I think there are 4 critical elements that have sped up, let's say, finance transformation. I would say number 1 is the market disruption itself. If we look into back into, let's say, 2-3 decades or so, the transformation was not as fast as we've been seeing it today. It's extremely fast-paced now. So this disruption is the first criteria why also transformation programs are critical. Secondly, I would say decision-making in corporations have changed from a more centralized corporate management. Things have moved to a very decentralized model. Reasons being we have to be agile fast at these markets, and this requires fast and also decentralized decision making. Thirdly, the business complexity itself has changed. The business complexity in the sense that portfolios have come together, are more diversified, are in different geographies, and this has to be managed to make sure that, let's say, the information in order to run the business is always there and comprehensible also for these organizations. And last but not least, the regulatory environment has changed significantly. Just to name one of them, that's the ESG, a topic which will affect especially also the finance in the organizations in the years to come.
And how do you think finance teams can be ahead of the game to face this evolution?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Belén. I believe the approach we have taken makes very much sense. So we develop so-called 3 years plans, strategic plans that we then couple with the finance strategy. So this is, I think, one of the critical elements so that we know where to prioritize our transformation also on the finance side to enable the strategy to be executed. The other one is to take care of that the corporate targets that we have and the decentralized targets that we have, especially in our countries, in our regions, match. We have to fulfill certain matters on corporate level. We have to also fulfill a lot of matters on local levels. And that's why getting these two targets together are another key element within our finance transformation program. And the third one is about KPIs. How do we measure that our transformation programs also kick in and are effective, are efficient to support the business?
So you have shared very generously with us the three key pillars on how this finance strategic journey is being developed. If we talk about specific levers on that evolution, which are the methods, techniques, which are the things that you are launching within the finance team?
Let me go a little bit into history, Belén, on transformation programs. If we look back to the years 2000 to 2007, roughly, much of the transformation programs by that time were on reporting, on controls. We call it the SOX era, for example. Following, there was a period of efficiency programs within the finance organization. That was where a lot of focus, for example, was given on shared service models and the like. Things are now changing completely. The finance is confronted with the question on how can we add value as a finance organization to the overall organization. So we are now talking about topics about business partnering, risk management, performance management, and the like. So we also have to change and adapt within our transformation program the levers to support this new changes that we have, these disruptions also that we have in our environment.
When we look at other organizations in a journey that is alike to the journey that we are living in NTT Data, they make a lot of focus on automation, on new methodologies. Which of those do you think will be the key in our organization?
We have developed a step plan on how our transformation program shall look like. Starting again from the corporate strategy and the corporate directive that we have. We have, let's say, designed the finance roles accordingly to these overall corporate targets. What does it ultimately mean is that we have to make sure that the day-to-day business is supported with the most modern tools and methodologies to free up time and develop our finance organization to be a value-adding team to the business, a business partner, a team that is capable of supporting, let's say, the day-to-day operations and the management as the business is, let's say, changing very, very fast, and the need for information has to follow. What does that mean? In order to cope with the topics that are critical to run our day-to-day business, we are enhancing our overall, let's say, organization. We call it, for example, short-cycled projects in certain areas. One of them is, for example, the way of working. To give you a feeling of what that means is we have developed within-house a methodology called Agile, which supports organizations to start adapting, which is a package of a project, a sub-project, which can be implemented fast, and then we can already see the benefits, or do corrective actions as necessary, and then give a feedback to our in-house consultant, which is Digital Finance, supporting us here in the process, that this is the right way to approach these matters. Another case, as you just said, is automation. Automation, a very critical part for us. We are currently in the stage of further developing predictive analysis. This is a very critical component for us. We have isolated projects that are very targeted in regards to predictive analytics. For example, cash flow forecasting, important part. Together with our digital finance team, we are implementing them. They are short cycle projects, so that we can see that the outcome is right for our business. So these are the things that are currently developing, and the major challenge we are now facing for is a project which we will kick off in short, because starting from October on, it will be critical for much of the global enterprises, which is ESG.
So that's exciting times. As you have mentioned, Gerhard, it's sweet times for the finance function, moving from the control SOX into being at the core of the transformation. We will be working to make a reality in NTT Data. We want to thank you for your time, for sharing the passion and your views. And we thank you all as well for being with us in this conversation of Voice of Finance. And we hope to see you in the next one.